A day of reckoning at Michigan State University.
I'm not running away from anything. I'm running towards something. Comfort, compassion, and understanding for the survivors in our community.
Athletic Director Mark Hollis steps down. Then a short time later, the Board of Trustees, some of them in tears, apologize for the horrors of Dr. Larry Nassar.
This board has come across as tone deaf, emotionless, and lacking empathy. It has infuriated me. I am so truly sorry. We have failed you.
The fallout at Michigan State seems to be far from over.
And tonight we are on the ground in East Lansing covering every angle. Let's get right to Jason Colthorpe leading our coverage tonight. Jason, this story is getting worldwide attention and there's a lot to get to tonight.
Boy, there sure is, and it's getting worldwide attention because this is spreading like wildfire, and we may not be done yet today, Devin and Kim. Good evening from the Rock here at MSU, though. There are multiple new developments we want to break down. First, we've just learned the entire board of USA Gymnastics will resign as it was asked to do. Here are the bullet points of the day so far. This morning, Athletic Director Mark Hollis stepping down, saying he was retiring. Much more on that in just a couple of moments. Then, just a short time later, the Board of Trustees held an open meeting. We saw tears, multiple apologies, but also some business. And an hour from now, here at the Rock, students are expected to gather for a rally to support the victims, the survivors of Larry Nassar. That's at 6 p.m. As for that Board of Trustees meeting, it was standing room only. And there were only a couple of things on the agenda. One, accepting President Luann Simon's resignation, appointing an acting president, and personal statements from the trustees.
I am so sorry. We failed you. But we must never fail again.
One by one, MSU's trustees offered a personal statement. Many, but not all, apologizing directly to the victims, the survivors of Larry Nassar.
I'm sorry to the courageous survivors, the victims of the largest sex abuse case in American history. I am so truly sorry. We failed you.
Last week I sat in court and listened to their stories unfold. I am sorry. I am sorry that a person who called himself a Spartan, a person that you trusted, inflicted such harm on his victims under the guise of medical treatment.
After accepting Luann Simon's resignation, the board announced Bill Beekman as acting president, which will be followed by a search for an interim president and then a national search for a new president. It's a total 180 from last Friday when the same trustees were here in public support of Simon.
There were a lot of victim survivors that testified. Their message was heard.
Trustees were also just getting wind of a scathing ESPN report out today accusing MSU's athletic department of sweeping a number of sexual assault allegations under the rug.
People from the president on up did not know what was happening someplace else. And as far as the board, we have no idea that's happening. All we knew was what we saw in front. And so I'm totally shocked if that's what's happening over there.
Now, that report came out shortly after Mark Hollis resigned. However, the article states that Mark Hollis knew it was coming and days ago had been asked for comment but did not. Now, people I've spoken to inside MSU today believe this outside the lines investigation is a big reason why he stepped down this morning. We were at that press conference as well. Hollis, who's been Michigan State's athletic director for 10 years, known as an innovator and really a premier AD nationally, was emotional as he spoke. Take a listen.
It's been an absolute honor to guide the athletic department for the last decade. That being said, today I'm announcing my retirement. This was not an easy decision for my family. And you should know, and you should not jump to any conclusions based upon our decision.
There is a lot of investigating still to go. I want to bring in Jamie Edmonds. She's covering the fallout from Hollis's decision to step down. And Jamie, as you know, in covering the athletic department, and I know from simply walking through his office today and seeing the faces of his staff, they were devastated as he was giving this press conference. He's really a beloved figure on campus.
Jason, absolutely. You and I know that from working here in this market. The students know it. He's very well known. And obviously, they're following what's going on their campus in the age of social media every step of the way. But we found when we came for reaction from students, they didn't really want to talk on camera. Do you have a reaction to Mark Hollis resigning?
No comment. I'm late for class, or I would.
Any reaction to Mark Hollis resigning?
Who's that?
Maybe the only person on campus who doesn't know who Mark Hollis is. MSU's athletic director resigned his post this morning following in President Luana Simon's shoes yesterday.
For those two positions, I think so, but I mean, I don't know. There's probably a lot to still be reported, but for now, those are probably the right moves.
These students tell me despite the lack of desire of some students to talk in front of our cameras, they admit they're all talking about it to each other and have been for days.
The topic tends to come up a lot, even in like academic like parts of our lives, like in class. Our teachers have talked about it a bit too.
They say the way their university is being portrayed on the national level saddens them. But they say there's a dent in the armor. It's time to clean house, right some wrongs, so this community can move forward.
If it comes out that there's hard evidence that they did turn a blind eye to all of these crimes, then be gone with all of them. We don't want that kind of evil on our campus.
I talked to one student who tells me an entire class was devoted to talking about this, to being very open about everything, saying maybe some girls didn't feel comfortable in coming forward, but that's not the case now. If you have something to say, please come forward. Now, there's a game tonight. I'm outside Breslin Center, but things are not business as usual. I wanted to know what these student athletes think now that the athletic director has resigned, and we'll have some very thoughtful conversations coming up at 6 o'clock. Jason, back to you.
Yeah, and being outside Breslin Center, Jamie, after that game tonight, this might be one of the more notable, memorable press conference of Tom Izzo's career, because as those students say, they want to clean house. When the names Mark D'Antonio and Tom Izzo are mentioned, you can see the sheer terror in MSU Spartans' faces, but that's exactly what this Outside the Lines article has done. Our coverage is just getting started here at MSU. We will talk to MSU trustee Diane Byram at 5:30, and we will talk about calls for the entire board's resignation. At 6, we'll have live coverage of the student rally that's here at the Rock. Also, you'll see what trustee Joel Ferguson had to say when I asked him about the controversial comments he made earlier this week and the fact that he didn't apologize directly to those victims as other trustees did today. We are covering a lot of that as well as, and if you haven't checked it out already, head to clickondetroit.com and check out a running log of my day here at MSU and yesterday. We've been taking your questions, shooting some quick videos, and getting a real perspective from the students and the people at Michigan State about what this all means and where we go from here. Guys, back to you.
Jason, you know East Lansing like the back of your hand. I'm assuming that this it all feels very palpable, this sort of chaotic and very tense atmosphere.
Well, I'll tell you, Devin, when I said wildfire, it really got real today when that investigation by ESPN came out, and there's word there's more to come Sunday. They're now, the rumors are now really flying about, will D'Antonio retire or resign? Will Tom Izzo do the same? And now that makes this just earth-shattering around here and nationally if that happens.
It sure does. All right, back to Jason here very shortly.
All right.